welcome to the Narrowboat Pt1. Hope you're well, thanks for joining me. Well, as you can see, it's still covered in snow around here, so and it's bitterly cold today. And my gas man's coming, and which is a bit of a relief, because if you saw the other night, I've been cooking on the stove now, and which is fine. It's working. It's doing its job. It's serving its purpose, but it's not particularly easy, I guess. So I'm looking forward to having a cooking control that you can easily adjust. So yeah, that's going to be a welcome relief for when he comes. But it's canals are frozen today, so there's no dinghy, I'm afraid. No larking around, more work, but yeah, gas, that would be brilliant. So my gas man has been, and Dale, and he's a really nice bloke. We spoke about budgets, and because obviously to have an LPG regulated marine gas install, obviously these guys are rather sought after. So this whole install is going to cost 650 quid, including parts and material and labour. And he kind of suggested that I could do some of it myself, and he can come back and do the rest. So I mean, bless him, what a nice guy. He's given me the bits that I need in order to do it. So that's good. Obviously, there's some parts I wouldn't dare tackle, but there are some bits I can do. So I shall, and I'll show you the bits I'm going to do, and the kind of the various safety measures that you need for a gas install on a narrowboat. Dale lives on a narrowboat not far from here, so not only is he LPG qualified, marine experience, he also lives on a narrowboat, and this is the exact install that he's done. So yeah, couldn't be in better hands. So as you know, this is the gas locker here. I'm going to go for a 13 and a 6 kilogram gas bottles. I can't go for two 13s because I don't both fit in here, along with the regulator and the other bits and pieces that need to go in here. So yeah, it's no bad thing. I think 19 kilograms of gas for cooking will probably last me maybe 3 months, 4 months, something like that. So we'll find out soon, but that's kind of what I'm expecting. And so what I need to do is I need to drill a hole in the bottom of, there's a few things I need to do to this. So I need to anchor it to the 2 steel bars that Paul's put through, and bolt it in place. It's only going to be bolted to the 2 lower supports. It's not going to be bolted to the bulkhead here. It's going to have to sit a bit like it's going to sit around like that, and the reason for that is because I need to get the lid on and off, so that'll give me room to do that. This is where the antenna mast is going to come up to around here, so that'll give me enough room to take the lid off, and that's fine, and it's not going to get in the way of taking the bottles out. So the holes I need to drill, obviously, yeah, to go through into those floor plates, but also I need one going out the side there to go through the bulkhead, through the side of the boat. There are 2 ways of doing it. You can either use a steel tube, or you can use a BS gas tube, and it's gas, I think it's 2112 oblique 2, if you really want to know. But I think it's not that much of a length, so I think we're just going to go with it with a piece of steel tubing. So I'm going to cut the diameter hole. It needs to be a 3/4 of an inch diameter hole at the bottom. It needs and it needs to be no higher than 1/2 inch from the bottom of the tank, of the locker, and the pipe needs to be in a constant downward trajectory. So obviously you just got to work it out with where the water line is on the boat. You don't want it too downward trajectory, otherwise water will start coming in. So yeah, that's the plan for that. there is, and then obviously I need a skin fitting to go on the side of the hull. So there's more drilling to be done there. So yeah, those are the bottom pipe, the 4 anchors there, and then I need to go in with the bits and pieces here, and then there's going to be a skin fitting which goes through, and I can't remember exactly where Dale told me to do it. I think he said do it there. I might have to phone him up and double check that. I will phone him up and double check that. But that's the plan for today, get this done, and that'll save me a few bob on the gas install. So cheers Dale. So these are the 3 things I need to put in myself. This here is the switchover valve. So that goes in the middle of the locker, and there's a outlet to both tanks there, and obviously that's the one that comes into the boat. So you obviously have the tap at the top, and he said to put it kind of in the middle, kind of quite near the top. That will allow the gas lockers to go in there. So let's measure that up. 640, so the centre is 320. Okay, that needs to be like that. Let's do these 2 top ones first. Okay. How have I got that wrong? Right. Now I'll drill it out with the right size drill. Oh, sorry, what I meant to say is, now I've put the pilot hole through, I can now go through and just slightly widen it. So I'm going to show you this gas install in minute detail. The reason for it is obviously because gas installs are massively important and pretty much on every single narrowboat, all done differently, but because this is kind of a useful mix between a professional doing it, i.e. Dale, and me, a amateur at the very best, it means that we can have a look at it all, as opposed to me just turning up one day and saying, right, well there you go, there's the gas installed. Which would be good to get the gas installed, don't get me wrong. We're not going to learn much, are we? Right. So now I just want to mark out the next two. That's annoying. It's not obviously this exact marking, which means I have to put it in place, then mark it out. Obviously, I'm just having it to feed the cooking appliances in the galley. So it's not for, it's not for doing hot water or anything else like that. So it's going to be only obviously beneficial if you're going to be using it for the same thing. But if it is, it should be a fairly copycat. And then, so that's that one in. The other part that goes in is this one here, which is a test valve or leak detector. The idea is you fill this up with a liquid and then you push and hold that down, and if you see air in there, then you know you've got a leak. And that goes on the inside of the tank, and he said kind of above that to the side. So that needs to be kind of up there. And that looks like it's bolted through, yeah, quite a long bolt, that one. And then there's the bulkhead fitting. And this one here, basically you put the whole thing through the bulkhead. So you drill a hole for that, which goes through the bulkhead. You see it's just got clear all the way through, and then you clamp it in place in the bulkhead between those two. So you tighten that in place, and then you get that lined up, and then you put that on the other side. And then the pipe goes all the way through, so it's a continuous feed all the way. There's no junctions in it, which is important. So now I've marked that up. You can take this off. Lose the nut. Got to say, it's not ideal drilling upright in something thin and floppy like this, but I think I got away with it that time. Now that, I've got to see if I've got long enough bolts to get through. I don't think I do. Yeah, they do have to go all the way through that. Right. I'll check and see what Paul's got. Okay. Right, now I've got to drill through. I'll show you what the lid's like. There we go. Oh, good. Good little position that will be. Right, I've hit a bit of a brick wall because I've got to go out and get some bolts long enough to go through that thing. And once again, I find myself having to go to the chandlers, not just to get them, but there's a few other little odds and sods I need. So, but because I want to show the gas install in one. I'm not going to show anything else in this one, so this is just part one of the gas install. Hope it's been useful. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.